I was born in Uitenhage in the Eastern Cape, and I grew up and schooled in Port Elizabeth. When I finished schooling, I went to do a teacher's training course. I wanted to be an art teacher, so the colleges in the Eastern Cape didn't offer art as training, so I had to be transferred to Cape Town. And so I studied to be an art teacher here in Cape Town. With the help of my parents, I managed to enter Rhodes University in Grahamstown, back in the Eastern Cape again, to actually study a fine art degree. And I found myself at Rhodes having to paint, having to survive, in a painting environment. And I found myself struggling a lot. I've got married, raised a family here, produced a career here in Cape Town. Well, the art is everything for me in my life, It's, even when I was a child, I had a natural inclination to draw and so on. I was very much in the community where I grew up in. I was very much the one that was the artist, in the eyes of the community. So I would be doing things for people, drawing charts for teachers, doing paintings in the church and stuff like that, Nothing else distracted me in my life except for art. It was quite clear that it was the only thing I could do with my life, So it was a natural inclination for me to follow an art career. I kind of dedicated my artwork to the struggle, doing works that had socio-political content, talking about these issues, reflecting on these issues in the work that I was doing. Well, it's not just technique, I suppose, but it's also subject matter. My ancestry, who I am, those kind of questions. Who am I? Who are we in our society, in our South African historical context, related to issues around the indigenous history of South Africa. And I'm talking specifically about the Khoisan history. It's almost a quest that I can see will be a forever quest, It will be never ending, I know, because there's always new things that I find and discover. I knew I couldn't be a natural painter in the classic sense. I had a kind of a habit of always mixing my paint with other things, And one of those things that happened to me was that I started mixing sand into my paint, for example. And I found in that experimentation, I found a medium that actually suited my soul, So I began to work with sand. I also discovered working with fire. I've discovered a new way of image making using this wet-on-wet process, which includes the use of water to a great extent. All my mediums included the elements of nature that I think sets my techniques apart. Gotten into a habit of using text in my work, place names, names of people, dates, and so on, to weave that into the medium that I'm using. So my biggest highlight in my career was when the Smithsonian Institute in Washington purchased a lot of my work. They had more of my work than any other African artist, So that was an unexpected thing, and for me it was a personal, I really felt good. So I can consider it a highlight. I do have a deep appreciation of art history, an understanding of how we fit in the classic art history sense. That African art has a proud place and that we should take that place and stand proud.